So we're gonna go live here. It says we're live. Awesome. Tonight is Thursday evening here at about 5 o'clock, Alberta time, Western Canada time, Alberta time. And if you are jumping in here tonight and we have not met before, my name is Heather Edmondson, and this is my Healthy Living page. And I'm going to have a guest speaker come on with us, and she's going to tell us all about some really cool mindset goals. She's a mindset coach, and she does brain games with people and teaches them all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're jumping on, please allow StreamYard access in the banner up above, access so that we can see who we are all talking to. And I'll just get this pulled up so we can see. And then I'll pull up Shauna. Thank you, Shauna, for jumping in here with me and actually promoting some of your awesome stuff that you do. I feel very privileged to have you and honored to have you on with me tonight. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
It is exciting because you've got so much valuable information to share with everybody. So, like I said, feel very privileged to have you talking with me this evening. Oh, my hubby's jumping on here. He's saying hello. He likes the backgrounds with both. I was actually kind of matches. We kind of got a theme going on there. And then Beth is on here with us. Hello, Beth. Thank you for jumping in here tonight. That's awesome that everybody's spending some time with us. If you're jumping on the replay, just let me know, and I'll get back to you after the fact is over. So take it away, Sean, and you can go whichever direction you want to go. How did you get kind of started in this mindset?
My mindset coaching?
Yeah. Like what pulled you in that direction?
Well, it's been quite a journey for me. It's been a couple of years. I had 25 years in the HVAC industry, both sales and marketing, and I went on a women's retreat. And it was my first ever women's retreat, which I was a little scared. I almost backed out a couple times because I'm used to being around men, and I grew up with brothers and dad in a welding shop. So I didn't know how to. I was like 18 women. This is going to be interesting.
That could be a lot of drama.
And it was in Mexico for a week, and we were sharing rooms, and that was new to me. So it ended up that week ended up changing my life. I met so many wonderful women and 5 coaches that they all spoke at the event and did different trainings each day. And I ended up I fell in love with these women. And when I came back from the retreat, I felt like a new woman. And I just looked at my husband and I said, I need to help women. I need to leave the male industry. I need to go help women. I need to do something. I need to share my life and my experiences. So I literally, all 5 of the coaches, I signed up for each one of their programs.
Wow.
And so I was working with 5 coaches at one time with these different programs. And
Susan just jumped in here with us. Hello, Susan. Thanks, girl, for coming and spending some time with us this evening.
Yes, thank you. So what really changed my life was, because one was a speaking coach, because I do have aspirations to speak on stage, and I have spoke at a couple events. And there was different things I was taking, but what really, really changed my life the most was I had a blueprint done. And so this blueprint is a combination of like numerology. There's even like tarot archetypes, and it's a combination where it goes through. And now I'm actually creating my own version of it. And it's called Ignite Your Personal Power Code. And I'm excited because I've been working on it this week. So I'm hoping in the next week or so I'll make a big announcement. And it's all about, it's basically igniting your personal power.
Wow.
And exciting. Yeah, it is. And it's really neat because you can go through the code and you look at everything. And as women, we can tend to, beat ourselves up, be judgmental, have self-doubt. And when you go through this code and you actually can see your power, it's all of a sudden you're like, okay, what's next? And so for me, it was understanding my power and then going, okay, now I want to learn more. So then I stepped into like a 12-month program of going deep into Universal Law Certification course and just diving deep into truly understanding who I was. And I never did that before because when I left my job, I had a lot of anger. And I had anger from childhood. I had anger from jobs. I had an anger for ex-marriage. Like I had so much anger in me, and I didn't even realize how much anger I had in me until it was time to do shadow work. and to release all this anger. And so I spent the next year diving deep into mindset coaching and understanding who I was and releasing and really truly learning how to, whatever situation, to come from a place of love and be able to see the good in everything. And so, yeah, so it's been a 2-year journey. And now I'm venturing out and building my own coaching business where I can now help women like me on their power journey.
So was that exhausting, getting all of those emotions and all that stuff out? You said it took over a year to get all that stuff emptied out of your system.
Yeah, because what happens when you start to dive in, there's always the surface stuff at first. So you dive into your surface stuff. And so I was working through my surface stuff, and that came out, pretty good. And then, but every month I was diving into something deeper and deeper, and like these like mirrors and then triggers. And as I was diving deep, then more stuff would come up, and even stuff that I didn't know. And the interesting part that I found the most amazing is when you're working on yourself and mastering your emotions, you have a 9-meter field around you.
Okay.
And so all your limiting beliefs are held in this field. So, and then you have layers and layers of filters. So as you break away and dive into that, you're always going to have something that's going to mirror back to you. You're always going to have triggers. That's life. So it's how you actually learn how to then navigate life and navigate those triggers. So as they pop up, and the same ones that pop up, they're not as strong as and intense as they were before. Wow. So it's pretty powerful work, because even for me, it's like you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I've done all this work. It's awesome. Like, I'm feeling great. It's good. I'm top of the world. And then something else will trigger you, and it'll kind of, it can take you down. And with the tools and the training, no matter what happens, you don't have to stay there very long. You can actually take yourself out of it. And for me at Christmas, again, I was triggered by a childhood memory.
Oh, Janet jumped in here with us. Hello, Janet. Thank you, guys.
And so that a childhood memory came up, and then I was like, oh, okay, what's this all about? So then when I started diving deep into it, I was holding on some emotions from when I was a little girl. And as a little girl, what had happened was our dog had puppies. Okay. And there was like 7 puppies or something. And my parents had built a thing where they stood tables up. And so there was tables all around and the puppies in the center. So I was like 5 or 6. No, I couldn't have been 6. I had to be 5 because we moved into my other house when I was 6. So I was 5 years old, and I leaned over to pick up one of the puppies, because we each had a puppy, me and my 3 brothers, and the table fell over and it landed on one of the little puppies.
Oh no.
It broke its neck.
Oh no.
So it was, so as this little girl, I was devastated. And then my parents came downstairs, and of course my brother was there. And then it was just like everybody was yelling at me. And then the dog went into shock. And then they were like, oh my God. And then my brother was calling me like murderer. And and it was just like, and I didn't realize how traumatic that was until just this past Christmas, where I was looking at pictures from my childhood, and I came across this picture of these puppies, and it was like, I just like completely fell apart. And I was just like, oh my God, all the memories just came rushing back. And I was like, wow. And so I could dive deep down and go, okay, I need to go and just hug that little girl and say, you know what, it's okay. This wasn't, you didn't murder that puppy. It was an accident. And to just let go of that, because I was holding on to that.
Beth has a comment for you there. What a traumatic memory. She says, yeah, it sounds horrific. Yeah, so a little girl's, because her brain's not developed, wouldn't know how to deal with that. And then of course, then your brother's picking on you and stuff like that, and then your folks being upset. And
exactly. And there's like tools and things you can do where you can actually do a visualization. It's almost like hypnotherapy or meditation, where you can go back to that place and time. And like as grown-up Shauna, I could go back to that place and time. I can visualize what happened, and then I can take that little girl and hug her and tell her she's safe and she's okay. And so I did that, and I went back and I was able to heal that trauma.
And so you felt relief after that?
Yeah, it was it was so powerful. Yeah. So, and that's for me, the mindset is just, it's been huge. The mindset work has been made such a difference in my life that I'm able to, like, even if stuff really makes me angry, I can just like feel into that anger, and then I can actually let it dissipate. And then I can move into a state of, I can move up different levels till I can get to a place of, compassion for, for people, for the situation. And I can actually move myself quite quickly through a process to come to a place of forgiving. And that's huge, because that's kind of the key, where everybody goes to gratitude, and gratitude is amazing. I do gratitude practices every morning and every night, but there's the forgiveness component. And the forgiveness component is huge too, because when you, and I do this like process where, and I teach this in my one class, where we do this forgiveness letter. And so then you forgive others, and then you forgive yourself. And it's able to release it, because the whole thing is, you can either be in what I teach and tell people is like your T-Rex brain, which your fight or flight, or you can be in your rest and repose. And so when you're not forgiving others and you're hanging on to that anger, you're full on in your T-Rex brain. And then, as you probably know, right, and your T-Rex brain, that becomes your fear and your anxiety and your worry, and then disease lives there, and that's where you have a low immune system. And right now, this has been really critical with what's going on, like in the world with the pandemic, right? There's so many people that are so strong in the fear side that they're actually making it worse on their immune system. They're inviting disease into their body.
So Susan's got something here to say here. You don't realize what you hang on to and what it does to you. Yeah. Letting go of this stuff is so powerful. And yes, for sure, it is powerful. And I'm sure there's so many of us that don't even realize how much stuff we do have in the back of our brain that's triggering stuff that we don't even know about, because we haven't set any kind of practice like this up to actually get rid of it, right? Yeah. So this is awesome that you're sharing this information with us, because it's amazing. So.
It's now becoming my life's work. And it's like, I'm really excited where I'm going as a coach, and where I want to go with my vision, and truly help women just see how utterly amazing they are and how powerful they are, because we don't tend to know that. And I was like, I've been very strong and very successful in a male dominated industry, because that's part of my core. Mm-hmm. And part of my code is abundance, success, my strength, intelligence. So it's like really learning your code. And it's funny how I look back at all the years in this male dominated industry, where I could see now how I was standing in my power, and I claimed it and everything. But it wasn't until I actually left and then was trying something new, that then all of a sudden that didn't quite work out the way I thought it would with an online business that I thought was going to be amazing, that I actually let it take me back down again. Yeah. And so I've been able, like now I actually look at the blessings in it, that even though I gave my power away again and let this business and certain people take me back down, that then I was able to step into my training, pull myself back out, and go, okay, yeah, no. These
didn't happen overnight.
Oh, no.
It was a process. Susan's got a comment. Susan's got another comment here. So you want to be doing the work. You can't get suppressed and hold you back without knowing why. And that's so true, Susan.
Yeah.
So very true. Like I said, there's how many women that you run into all the time that have been beaten down by a narcissistic or what person that has beaten them down so badly that they don't even understand their power that they have. They don't understand that they are worthy of something, and for you to show people this and to learn the tools of how to make it work for you, that's awesome that you're going to be able to help so many people. So,
yeah. Well, it's definitely it's a progression. So it'll, like, for me, it'll start off where and I'm so excited, because I'm putting it together right now. So it's exciting to actually build this code and put together. I think it's going to be around 7 pages. So it's going to be nice, because that'll be kind of the starting point, where it'll be like, ignite your power and understanding your code and understanding how powerful you are. And then from there, I'll move into like a 10-week course where it's like mastering the brain game, mastering your emotions, and then you need tools and tips and tricks to then like start to stand in your power. And then down the road, I'm putting together a 10 to maybe 12-month program. I haven't figured it all out yet, but that is where, as women entrepreneurs, whether you're a coach, whether you're a healer, whatever you are, that will be a journey of actually unleashing your power and building a powerful business that you're the brand.
Wow, that's exciting. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I
It
know.
took me for a long time to step up and believe in myself and not let people beat me down, because for a long time I was in, bad relationships or that kind of things before I met my husband. And it took a long time to get out of that mindset. And when I went back to school and became a nurse and then started working and having to look after other people, my mind shift started happening. And now, of course, now doing what we're doing here with the online stuff, it's shifted again. So, and I guess it's part of maturing. Some of us, our brains mature at a different rate than others, and learning how to use that belief in yourself. That's a power that so many of us as women have never even tapped into, because we don't understand how to make it work for us, because we've always been pushed around by, I will say, the male dominant generation, because that's been encoded into them by their parents and stuff too. So
that's exactly it. Yeah. Very much so. It's definitely encoded for sure. And then the other part too, like you just start having all these limiting beliefs that you just don't believe you can do it, and you end up beating yourself up, and you go through all, like, the whole gamut of emotions.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, it's crazy, because what we don't realize too, that a lot of times, and I don't have kids, but I have fur babies. But I've seen over and over in my life how, and I teach this thing called the drama triangle too, where you're either playing the rescuer, the victim, or the bully. Right. And I know in my life where I've played, and usually you're playing two roles at one time, but it's really understanding where you are with that. And then as women, the other thing I like to talk about too is are you in service or servitude, or are you self-serving?
Right.
So, and those are big too, because when you're in servitude and you're just constantly giving and giving and giving your energy away and giving everything you have nothing left, and you're not getting anything in return.
That's right. You're just done. You have nothing left to share. Susan's got another comment here. Okay. That's for you. A lot has to do with being busy with kids, putting our emotions aside until the kids are all gone. Then all the free time you have, once the kids have moved out, you start thinking and you go back. That's right.
Oh,
thank you, Susan. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. I've seen it like with all my girlfriends, my sister-in-laws, and that's just it. It becomes all about that. So that's part of being in servitude, where you're just giving, and you're depleting your energy, and you're exhausted.
Right.
And then there's, and then there's the self-serving, which is everything you do is like kind of selfish. It's all about, right? What are the means, like you're gaining constantly. So you're doing all the taking, no giving.
Right.
And when you're in service, it's like this beautiful flow of energy where it's like give and take. And so the nice part about that, with when you're being in service, is where you really take the time for self-care.
Right.
And it's interesting, because there's some people say, oh, there's so much about self-care and blah, 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 and they'll put like a negative spin on it. But self-care, it's a beautiful thing, because it could be something simple as taking 15 minutes, like for me, and sitting in my sunroom and just my dogs and
Cody, just call them in. Just call them in and have them join in the conversation. Why not?
I think my husband's home. They probably saw him come home. It's like, oh my God, yeah, he just says hi to everybody. So it could be as simple as taking 15 minutes and just like for me, we have this beautiful view, staring out at the view and taking those 15 minutes to just kind of ground myself and, and just calm, bring my energy down. And it's like, it's so important to take those time, and especially as moms. And I know it can be so hard, because my sister-in-law has twins, and to take that time. But it's so critical to just take that time for yourself and to fill your cup, because it's impossible for you to be there and to give when you're so depleted. So it's like
when your tank is empty, you can't, there's no gas in the tank, you can't move forward. So you have to refill it. Yes.
Yeah. And it's really part of like just knowing your body too. And for me, it's like, I was telling you before, my sleep's all over the map.
Right.
I can go with 2 hours of sleep. Anyway, it's just crazy. But those nights where I've had maybe a few hours sleep, and, I wake up, and then I can actually go through my gratitude practice, and I can actually make myself feel pretty amazing on a few hours sleep. But then it's interesting, but then I know when I'm pushing myself to get work done and I'm exhausted and it's like, okay, you know what? I just need to walk away and take a break. Because if I'm not prioritizing my energy and then taking my action, like inspired action, I call it, then I'm forcing myself to do something, everything goes wrong. And that's when it's like, and I've done that over and over because I'm so used to pushing myself and pushing myself. I have such high expectations for myself and I put a lot of pressure on myself that I can burn out. So I have to watch that. And now I actually know when to just, okay, go, okay, I need a break. Let's just go stare outside for a bit.
Yeah, because if you're not at your full energy or top energy, are you actually doing a proper job when you are doing it and not having to go back and redo it because your mind was not in the game when you were trying to get it down on paper or in the computer. So you might as well have just walked away and gone and had a rest or look out the window or whatever, because you're not doing a proper job anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know what, and that's exactly it. And I always do this. I always do like some of the ladies I know in the coaching world too, like I know an EFT practitioner where she does the tapping. And so a lot of the things you say when you're doing the tapping points and calming your energy and calming yourself down, I love it because she's always like, I give myself permission to, right? So it's always just like, and I love affirmations, but I always love saying that I give myself permission to. And it's funny because sometimes I'll forget that too, because I'll be so busy and then my husband will be like, hey, just give yourself permission to be okay here.
He knows your code words, eh?
Yeah, well, he does, because it's interesting. As I've been diving deep into this work, and now as I'm teaching it, he's been, every time I teach a class, then he's like, hey, I want to know, what did you teach today? So that it's like I teach the course on Wednesdays, and then it's like Wednesday night we have dinner, and then we talk about what I taught.
Well,
and
nice.
It's made a huge difference for him because he then can go at work. It's helping him with his staff a lot better, where he's like, oh, okay, I see where, I just needed to back off and let them do their thing. And so it's really helped him.
He's becoming a better person because of this as well. So that's good. That's good. Yeah. We all can use a little bit of help, whichever form it comes in, right? That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, have we talked long enough, do you think? Awesome. Have you guys found some value in this? Let us know if you found some value in what Shauna's all sharing here. And I'm hopefully going to be able to have Shauna on as a guest often once she gets her ball rolling here on her new project. And hopefully you guys, like I said, got value from tonight. I sure did. And pass this on to whoever might also gain some value from this or whatever. And thanks very much, Shauna. And I will talk to you again very, very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, Shauna.
Thank you.